Chapter 21. The Endor project was a new Death Star, which was suspended in a synchronous orbit around the forest-covered sanctuary moon of the gas giant Endor. When construction was completed, the new Death Star would be even larger than the original. Its primary weapon, the planet-destroying super laser, had been redesigned so that it could be recharged within minutes and finally focused to fire at moving targets such as capital ships. Imperial technicians regarded it as the deadliest invention of all time. As Vader's shuttle carried him from the executor to the fragmentary framework of the new battle station, he surveyed the enormous super laser with contempt. Even if it succeeds where the first Death Star failed, he thought, it is an infant's trinket compared to the power of the Force. After landing, Vader informed the Death Star's commanding officer, Moff Jerjerrod, that the Emperor was displeased the station was not yet operational. Upon learning that the Emperor himself would soon be arriving in the Endor system, Jerjerrod commanded his men to redouble their efforts. By the time the Emperor arrived via shuttle to a grand imperial reception in a Death Star docking bay, Vader had received a report from Tatooine that Jabba the Hutt was dead. Evidently, Luke and his allies had successfully liberated Han Solo from the Hutt. After Vader informed the Emperor that the Death Star would be completed on schedule, the Emperor said, "You have done well, Lord Vader, and now I sense you wish to continue your search for young Skywalker." "Yes, my master." "Patience, my friend," the Emperor rasps. "In time, he will seek you out, and when he does, you must bring him before me. He has grown strong. Only together can we turn him to the dark side of the Force." "As you wish," said Vader. He had not forgotten how Anakin Skywalker had obeyed Palpatine's command to kill Count Dooku, and had no reason to doubt that the Emperor had already planned a test for Luke to determine whether Vader would remain his apprentice. "Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen," the Emperor sneered. As Vader escorted his master through the Death Star, he wished he could see the future so clearly. Palpatine had lured Anakin Skywalker to the dark side, recreated him as a cybernetic monster, and remained the more powerful of the two Sith Lords. Although Luke Skywalker had defeated Vader at the first Death Star, evaded him on Hoth, and escaped him at Bespin, Vader did not believe his son could resist the Emperor's power. "Luke has to join me. I cannot lose again." The new Death Star's construction continued. Vader had just learned that rebel ships had assembled in the Sulla system when he was summoned to the Emperor's throne room. Perched atop a highly shielded tower at the station's north pole, the throne room had large circular windows that allowed the Emperor a wide view of the Force moon and the battle station's upper hemisphere. The throne itself was a high back seat that was set atop a broad, elevated platform. The back of the seat faced Vader as he mounted the steps that led to the throne. "What is thy bidding, my master?" Swiveling in his throne to look at Vader, the Emperor said, "Send the fleet to the far side of Endor. There it will stay until called for. What other reports of the rebel fleet massing near Sullust?" "It is of no concern," the Emperor said dismissively. "Soon the rebellion will be crushed and young Skywalker will be one of us. Your work here is finished, my friend. Go to the command ship and await my orders." Soon after Vader returned to the bridge of the executor, he was looking through a viewport when he saw a Lambda-class shuttle approaching Endor. The shuttle had transmitted an old Imperial code for clearance, but Vader permitted the ship to proceed to the Force moon. "Luke is on that ship," he sensed with utmost certainty. Although the Emperor had instructed Vader to remain on the executor, Vader was compelled to report this latest development in person. After returning to the Emperor's throne room on the Death Star, Vader noticed that the Emperor actually seemed surprised to hear that Luke had arrived on Endor. Are you sure? The Emperor asked. I have felt him, my master. Strange that I have not, the Emperor said warily. I wonder if your feelings on this matter are clear, Lord Vader. They are clear, my master. Then you must go to the sanctuary moon and wait for him. Skeptical, Vader asked. He will come to me? I have foreseen it. His compassion for you will be his undoing. He will come to you, and then you will bring him before me. As you wish, Vader said. As he strode out of the throne room, he thought, if the Emperor could not detect Luke's arrival, perhaps he would grow weak with age. If only I could take Luke far from here to persuade him to ally with me. For a moment, Vader allowed himself to imagine a future with his son. He imagined Luke as his apprentice. I would teach him everything, and as his partner, he would keep me strong. There would be no rivalry or secrets between them. With their bond of blood and shared power, they would be the greatest of Sith Lords. We would be invincible. I would take him to Bast Castle and... Vader remembered the vision that had come to him when he left Coruscant for Endor, the vision of his meeting with Luke at his fortress on Vijun. In that vision, Luke had joined him, and the Emperor had arrived with fire and death. Vader realized it didn't matter whether the vision had been a nightmare, premonition, psychic warning, or delusion, because it was a revelation of an event that could never transpire. There was nowhere Luke and I could go, nowhere we could hide. Powerless to disobey his master, Vader proceeded to his shuttle. The largest Imperial structure on the sanctuary moon was the energy shield generator, a four-sided pyramidal tower that supported a wide focus dish that projected a deflector shield around the orbital Death Star. Near this generator stood an elevated landing platform which was illuminated by brilliant floodlights. A large area of natural forests had been cleared to accommodate both the generator and the platform, something that had not gone over well with the indigenous Ewok population. A four-legged, all-terrain armored transport walked along the edge of the forest and lurched toward the landing platform as Vader's shuttle touched down. After Vader disembarked, he went to a gantry to greet the AT-AT. The AT-AT's hatch slid up to reveal an Imperial commander, 3 stormtroopers, and Luke Skywalker, whose wrists were secured by binders. Luke had surrendered to the soldiers. He was dressed in a form-fitting black uniform, and Vader wondered if this might in any way suggest that Luke had already surrendered to the dark side as well. No, he thought, not yet. The soldiers presented Luke's lightsaber to Vader, who glanced at Luke's gloved right hand. A new lightsaber, he thought, and a new hand, just as in my vision of Bast Castle. After taking the pro-offered lightsaber, the Dark Lord said, "The Emperor has been expecting you." "I know, Father." Vader realized he actually enjoyed hearing Luke refer to him as Father. Vader said, "So, you have accepted the truth." "I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father." Foolish boy. Facing Luke, Vader gave his son a hard stare through dark lenses as he said, "That name no longer has any meaning for me." Luke tried to convince Vader that there was still good in him. He pleaded with his father to come with him away from the Force Moon and the Emperor. "You don't know the power of the dark side," Vader said. "I must obey my master." "I will not turn," Luke vowed, "and you'll be forced to kill me." "I've done worse things," Vader thought, he said. "If that is your destiny—" "Search your feelings, Father," Luke interrupted. "You can't do this. I feel this conflict within you. Let go of your hate." "If only I could," Vader thought. "If only I could," he said. "It is too late for me, son." Summoning 2 stormtroopers to lead Luke to the waiting shuttle, he added, "The Emperor will show you the true nature of the Force. He is your master now." Wearing an expression of sad resolve, Luke said, "Then my father is truly dead." As Luke was escorted to the shuttle, Vader thought, "I must obey my master, even if it means the death of my son, and even if it means the death of me."